Miami, you good? You're looking a little wobbly, disoriented. What happened? Well, the same as always! Just kidding. Well, kind of. It's not over for Miami. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But welcome everybody else to my Week 4 NFL reactions. Again, it was a crazy week. We got a ton of things to talk about. So before we hop right into the action, don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. And remember that code WYATT10 will save yourself a discount on any Waggle merchandise. Link is in the description. All right, enough plugging. Let's get to the reactions. All right, so kicking off week 4, as always, we start with Thursday Night Football, and it was the Lions at Green Bay, and boy, was this a treat to America. First off, I just want to say to Green Bay that I'm actually going to give Jordan Love a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Yes, this stat line is shit. Yes, this is usually where I would pounce on him, but I watched the game. One of his picks was ugly. One of them was more so a mistake. Yes, he missed some throws that he probably should have made, but all in all, he doesn't look like a terrible quarterback. He really doesn't. Like, not even close to Desmond Ridder bad. Other than my speech about Jordan Love, though, there's really nothing to go over about their offense. I mean, Romeo Doubs was 9 for 95, which was cool. Shockingly, Christian Watson was barely used besides the touchdown he caught where nobody was within a mile of him. The run game was terrible. Quay Walker had 10 tackles. Rudy Ford had the pick, but other than that, it was pretty quiet for Green Bay versus Detroit, as you guys could probably tell by the score. I also would like to say I have a little bit of respect for Matt LaFleur. He literally quoted my dad in his pick last week and said, the definition of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insane, and that's what the Packers do. Anyway, quick glance at Detroit now. Goff and the passing game were there, but they weren't the reason they won. It was actually the rushing game. And don't get me wrong, I love David Montgomery, but I don't understand why they drafted Gibbs at this point. Like, what are they doing? Defense also played very well for Detroit. They were very disruptive. The only thing I gotta say on them is I hope Brian Branch is okay, because I know he got hurt. I just don't know how severe it was. But for now, Detroit, celebrate, because you guys are 3-1. All right, moving on to the next game. It was the first tea and crumpets game of the year. Atlanta at Jacksonville in London, and I told you so. And I'm not talking about my pick. I'm talking about Desmond Ridder. He is absolutely terrible. Terrible. This is the difference between him and Jordan Love. Jordan Love doesn't look bad every single play. Desmond does. Dude, 19 for 31 on completions. I'm not kidding you. I think 8 of those were actually catchable. His receivers and Bijan Robinson were jumping and leaping to catch anything with their life. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a fucking boat. Bring in Heineke. One guy is holding your entire team down right now. Oh, congrats to Bijan, though. 105 yards. Good, except that you have nobody to support you. Now, looking at Jacksonville, I'm not going to lie, they didn't have exactly a pretty performance offensively. I mean, Trevor was okay, but for some reason, him and Ridley they can't connect. Yeah, Ridley got his revenge touchdown, but that was one of his 2 receptions on the day. Like, it's looking like Christian Kirk is still the #1 here. Run game was also lousy for Jacksonville, but their defense did come up, picking off Ridder twice, should have been 6 times. Josh Allen sacked him 3 times, and Trayvon got him once. Good job, Jacksonville, and Atlanta, I'm sorry, but yeah, you gotta fix that. Now moving on, we got the Rams at the Colts, and this game is all about Hakuna Matata, man. He is going to legitimately break and set like multiple rookie receiving records if he continues to do what he's doing. As you guys can see, this game went to OT, but the Colts did end up falling short to the Rams, who offensively had a very productive day. Stafford threw for 319 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Kyren Williams ran for 103 and 2 more touchdowns. Then Hakuna Matata himself caught 9 more receptions for 163 yards, 1 touchdown, followed by Higbee, who had 5 for 64, and Van Jefferson, who only had 2 for 29. But they did get the job done, 29-23. Looking at the Colts, Anthony Richardson, he struggled to complete his passes as well, only throwing 11 for 25 and 200 yards, but having 2 touchdowns on the day. Looking down at the rushing, Zach Moss had 18 for 70, Anthony Richardson had 10 for 56 and a touchdown, and apparently Trey Sermon is alive. I didn't see like any of this game, that's why I don't really have anything to say about either team's defense, but I do want to say I am shocked that Michael Pittman only had 1 reception for 15 yards. The hell, Anthony? Next game we got is the Ravens at the Browns. And yeah, when Watson was out of the game, I probably should have changed my pick, but it was too late, so I kept it. This was a blowout, and I didn't watch a single play. I would like to highlight that Lamar Jackson played out of his mind again, 15 for 19, 186, 2 touchdowns. Very clean day, as well as running 2 more in with his legs. However, if the stars align correctly, next week is gonna be the week that Lamar throws for like 101 yards, 4 interceptions, and a passer rating of like 34. It's It happens every single year after he does really good. Anyway, Mark Andrews had a big day, 5 for 80, 2 touchdowns. Defense looks like they recorded 3 picks, 3 sacks, and yeah, they just blew out the Browns. I mean, brother, there's seriously nothing to highlight over here. Holy shit. Dorian Thompson, welcome to the NFL, baby. Woo! All right, next up, the Minnesota Vikings secured their first win against the almighty Panthers. What's crazier about it is that the Vikings did this when they had the worst offense they've had all year. Kirk was 12 for 19 for 139, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. He averages like 330 yards a week. Madison was good, Cam Akers was good, receiving Justin Jefferson respectfully was our leading receiver, but it was only at 85 yards. It's just weird, like we should not have probably won this week, and we did. However, I will say the defense played very good, getting 5 sacks and Harrison Smith being responsible for 3 of them. Looking over at the Panthers now, I'm seeing a lot of people turning on Bryce Young, and it just seems very unwarranted. He did not play that bad of a game. The run game was treacherous, and Miles Sanders might just be completely cooked. However, Adam Thielen did get a little slice of revenge, catching 7 for 76, and Terrence Marshall Jr. had 9 receptions for only 56 yards. I would also just like to say that even though the Panthers lost, Jeremy Chin just continues to make big plays against Minnesota. Like, he kind of owns us. All right, next game we got is the Bengals at the Titans. Oh man, Cincy, you guys you might legitimately just be bad. I don't know what else to say. I'm not gonna act like I watched this game. I didn't, but like, what the hell? Burrow 20 for 30, 165. Mixon 14 carries for 67 yards. Jamar Chase was good, 7 for 73, and he had some words to say after the game. Apparently he's always fucking open. And even though your defense managed to sack Ryan Tannehill 3 times and pick him off once, you guys managed as a team to get blown out by 24 points. Story of the day for Tennessee was Derrick Henry running 122 yards, a touchdown, and throwing one in. Receiving game continues to still be insanely underwhelming. And defensively, it doesn't look like they did a whole lot, but apparently the Bengals just couldn't do shit either. I don't know what to say, Cincy. I really don't. All right, moving on to the next game. We got Tampa Bay at the Saints, and I think I said the Saints were going to win this game, which would make me very wrong. Judging by the box score, Baker had a really clean game, 25 for 32, 250, and 3 touchdowns. Their run game continues to be a little bit underwhelming, like I was kind of talking about last week. They need to get that figured out. But as you can see, their passing game keeps them alive. Chris Godwin having a big day too, 8 for 114. Shit. Flipping over to the Saints side of things real quick, I just want to highlight how there is nothing to highlight. Nothing happened. They did absolutely nothing all day. Carr struggled. Kamara was okay, I guess, on the ground in his return game, but the leading receiver in yards was Michael Thomas, and he only had 53. However, I would like to point out that this Kamara receiving graphic is 100% real. He had 13 catches yesterday for 33 yards. That is the lowest yard per catch ever recorded in a game with that many receptions. Legend. And now moving on, we got the Dolphins at the Bills, the humbling game of a lifetime. Miami, I'm not gonna make this personal with your fans because I respect you guys. I know you're a good team. But you gotta let me at least say this. We didn't just beat you. We kicked your fucking ass. This is gonna make you guys hear glass, but you know it's the truth. You guys just played a real football team and you folded like a goddamn lawn chair. The AFC East still runs through us, and as far as I'm concerned right now, we might be the best team in the AFC period. I sound cocky right now, but I deserve it because we handled business. On the Miami side of things, I mean, their offense got shut down for what they could. Tua still threw for 282, but he did throw a pick, and Tyreek only had 58 total receiving yards, leading the entire team. Obviously, their defense wasn't able to do anything. However, I do want to give a shout out to Devon Achane. He actually looks like the second coming of Nicholas Jamal Chubb. I'm not kidding you. That guy is elite. I mean, what, in 2 weeks of football, he's had like 300 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, dude. Now, looking at the Bills side of things, Josh Allen had just as many touchdowns as he did incompletions on the day. Latavius Murray was weirdly our leading rusher. I don't know what was going on with James. Diggs murdered the Dolphins, 3 touchdowns, 120 yards on 6 receptions. And our defense did everything they needed to do when it comes to getting to Tua fast enough for him to not make a play. Do gotta tip my hat to Trey White though. He can't catch a break. We're about to get Von Miller back and this guy blows out his Achilles. So I'm gonna miss you, man. That's just shit luck. Go Bills though, and Jacksonville, I'll see you Sunday. All right, next game we got was the Broncos at the Bears, and this was just a battle of who has the worst defensive coordinator in football, and Chicago won. Dude, they were leading like 28-7 at one point, and they blew it. I mean, look at Chicago, man. Fields is never, ever gonna have a game this good again. 28 for 35, 335 passing yards, and 4 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert had a great day running for 103 and catching a touchdown. DJ Moore has had the best game I think he's had in 2 years, and all for what? Nothing, because you guys can't hold anything. And also, Justin Fields might have given you guys just enough hope to not draft Caleb Williams. So, like, what are you gonna do? Looking at the Broncos side of things, Russ was clean. I'm happy with my take on him coming back because he has been cooking. Not sure what happened to Javonte. He got hurt, but McLaughlin up here looked great, 7 for 72. Receiving game was all over the damn place. Russ was targeting 11 different people, but they got it done. And defense, I got nothing to highlight. And yeah, they might have had a couple of sacks in there, but when you make Justin Fields look like the second coming of Tom Brady, it's more than just an operator issue there. Moving on to the next game, we got Washington at Philly, and this is another game that I literally saw like one play of, and it was the Jahan Dotson catch that sent him into overtime. Otherwise, I didn't watch a single play. Looks like Washington hung in there, but they just couldn't get it done. I mean, Sam Howell, from what he did last week, he had a big bounce back. As far as rushing goes, they were kind of lousy, but receiving was present, just not good enough to overtake the undefeated Eagles. As far as Philly goes, Jalen Hurts looked to do just fine, 319 for 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift only ran for 56 that game, but still recorded a touchdown. A.J. Brown had a monster day, 9 receptions for 175, 2 touchdowns. I hope that's enough to make him quit bitching now for a little bit. And shockingly, even though the Philly defense was disruptive as always, they kind of got exposed here. I mean, 31 points? That ain't pretty, but you guys are still undefeated. Moving on, we got the Steelers at the Texans. CJ Stroud is winning MVP and Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nico Collins is winning Offensive Player of the Year, and D'Amico Ryans is winning Coach of the Year. And Dameon Pierce might be winning Biggest Flop of the Year. That brings us to the Raiders and the Chargers. Again, Brandon Staley tried to give this game away and they somehow won. It's incredible. It is really incredible as to how stupid that son of a bitch is. Anyway, looking at the Raiders first here, Aiden O'Connell in his debut, he could have done a lot worse. He could have done better, but I guess I would say he did fine. Josh Jacobs continues to be underwhelming on the ground. However, through the air, he led the team in receiving yards and receptions. Sorry, he tied it in receptions with 8 for 81, and Devontae Adams had 8 for 75. Although he might be hurt too. I'm not sure what happened to him. As far as their defense goes, they did have a pick. Max Crosby got 2 sacks, and Chandler Jones has been arrested and cut from the team. It's actually not funny at all. He's going crazy. He's going like AB. It's actually really sad. Looking over at the Chargers really quick, Herbert was very underwhelming for Justin Herbert, but they got the job done. Josh Kelly continues to be dog shit without Eckler. I mean, literally that guy when Austin Eckler's not on the field is absolutely worthless. The receiving game was weird. Josh Palmer's the leader at 3 for 77, and Quentin Johnston, even with Mike Williams out, only got 1 catch. However, their defense is the fun thing to look at because Khalil Mack had 6 sacks. Yeah, 6. One of 5 players in history to do that. Like, this guy went from 0 sacks to having tied for the most, I think, in the league within 1 day. Have a day, LA. Well, besides your coach. Moving on to the next game, we got the Cardinals at San Francisco, and I am now a believer that San Francisco is truly unstoppable, because if Jonathan Gannon can't get him to crack, nobody can. On the real note for Arizona, Josh Dobbs kind of balled out, like 265, 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's ever thrown for that much in his life. Run game was a little bit different too. As you can see, James Conner had 11 carries for 52, and then Josh Dobbs had 12 for 48. Hollywood did fine, 7 for 96. Michael Wilson had a breakout game, 7 for 76 and 2 touchdowns. It's just that their defense couldn't make San Francisco blink, because I don't think anybody can. And sorry, I shouldn't be saying San Fran, I should be saying Christian McCaffrey, who had 20 carries for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, I guess Arizona couldn't stop Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk either. Brock threw 20 for 21, 283 and a touchdown, and Ayuk caught 6 receptions for 148 yards. Oh, McCaffrey caught 71 yards and a touchdown as well, so he wasn't done yet. All around, very good defensive performance by the Cardinals. All right, moving on, we got the Patriots at the Cowboys, and Patriots just suck. Like, that's it. I was giving them credit, you know, saying they were still going to be able to play tough because I thought the New England Patriots still could, but no, they can't even do that anymore. Like, they're legitimately a bad team. I don't need to go over this game at all. I mean, maybe we can go scroll at Dallas. I'll give you guys a look at the Cowboys because they went off. Jake Ferguson was the leading receiver. What the hell? But in all sincerity, man, I had a lot of people angry at me from the New England fan base for underrating them and sleeping on them all offseason. And the only thing I have to tell you, this is going to sound really disrespectful, but shut the fuck up. Dude, I was wrong, and I was just trying to say you guys were going to make it a game at least. All right, and ending on Sunday Night Football, we got the Chiefs at the Jets. To anybody who missed my skit about this game, I suggest you go and watch it now because I wasn't too far off. Anyway, this game absolutely 100% was rigged. The Jets should have won. Patrick Mahomes played the worst game of his career, but they weren't going to let the Kansas City Chiefs lose with Taylor Swift in the building, and I'm going to tell you why right now. And before you scoff and roll your eyes, fucking listen to this. This is from Billy Hot Takes. He said the NFL couldn't allow any chance of the Jets beating the Chiefs because it would cause Chiefs Chiefs fans to turn sour on the presence of Taylor Swift and kill the money-making synergistic relationship between her and Travis Kelce. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on why the refs were so bad. Does this not make sense to you guys? Because it makes perfect fucking sense to me. You know how much money the NFL is making off the Swifties right now? A lot. This is exactly why the Chiefs got away with their blatant holding calls and why the Jets got called on holding calls that didn't exist, because the Chiefs needed to win this game. Let's go look at the NFL's Twitter really quick. Taylor fucking Swift! All about Taylor Swift right now. She brings in the money from the Swifties. So until that doesn't happen, the Chiefs aren't gonna lose, because as soon as they do lose when she's there, exactly what Billy just said is gonna happen will happen. The fans are gonna turn on her and the revenue is gonna drop. Zach Wilson, you should have won that game, and I'm not gonna cry on you like the rest of America's doing. They're treating you like a fucking Make-A-Wish patient. That's not fair. But I do want to say you played a great game. You deserve to win it. And the only reason you didn't is because the NFL's got to make money off Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all for my Week 4 NFL reactions. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, you already know what to do to show support, and please turn on that bell because I try to post every single day. However, with everything I just said, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.